Hi! Welcome to MSA YouTube channel. I'm Teacher Kathy, and in this video, we will learn about the correct usage of commonly confused words. Before we begin, please hit like, subscribe, and turn the notification bell on to get updated with our latest videos. Correct or good usage is important because it avoids misunderstanding when we communicate our ideas. In this video, we will learn about the correct usage of three pairs of commonly confused words, contractions, and possessives. First on our list are the adjectives fewer and less. We use fewer with plural count nouns. For example, we say fewer comments, fewer suggestions, fewer calories, because comment, suggestion, and calorie are nouns or things that can be counted. On the other hand, we use less with singular mass nouns or amounts. For example, we say less water because water is a substance that cannot be counted. Less sugar because sugar is made of particles that cannot be counted. Less cloth because cloth is made of material that cannot be counted. And we say less gravity because gravity is a natural phenomenon that of course cannot be counted. And less darkness because darkness is an abstraction or concept that cannot be counted. Can you use the right word for these sentences? Someone who wants to lose weight may prefer consuming fewer carbohydrates to fewer calories. We say fewer because carbohydrates and calories are nouns that can be counted. In 2005, NASA reported that warmer global temperatures of the 20th century involve less rain over land. We say less because rain is a substance that cannot be counted. Second on our list are number of and amount of. We say number of with count nouns. For example, we say a growing number of supporters because supporter is a noun that can be counted. We say the number of coins in your pocket because coin is a noun that can be counted. On the other hand, we use amount of with mass nouns. For example, we say a decrease in the amount of pollution because pollution is a phenomenon and substance that cannot be counted. We say a small amount of money because money implies a value that cannot be counted. It only becomes countable when we speak of physical bills and coins. Can you use the right word for these sentences? The French put a plentiful amount of butter in their food yet suffer less from heart disease than the Americans do. In this sentence, we use amount of because butter is food substance that cannot be counted. Some believe that technology has impacted politics positively as it has increased the number of opinions by individuals that are taken into account in political decisions. In this sentence, we use number of because opinions in this sentence are various opinions by individuals which can be counted. Third on our list are compare to and compare with. Compare to is used to liken or assert primarily similarities between two essentially different things. For example, as a young writer, she prefers not to compare her writings to those by the greats like Jane Austen. In this sentence, the young writer, however, dislikes likening her work to great work. On the other hand, compare with is used to assert both similarities and differences between two different things. Compare with is used when the differences are as important as the similarities. For example, as a book lover, he has been comparing ebooks with physical books. Can you use the right word for these sentences? An often quoted line in Shakespeare's As You Like It compares us to actors in a play. As some doors close for us, another opens, and as roles we play in life end, another comes for us to play. In this sentence, compare to is used because the play likens actors in a stage to people in real life, while these two are different. Before making a decision to migrate, she has to compare the tropical climate with the temperate one. In this sentence, compare with is used because she weighs both the similarities and differences between tropical and temperate climates. In the next section, we will learn about contractions and possessives, which may be confused because both use an apostrophe. Note that our guide for this is the Chicago Manual of Style. Of course, there are other style guides currently in use. We use contractions to make our prose sound more natural. In contractions, we use an apostrophe or right single quotation mark to replace omitted letters. What words or part of speech use contractions? First, be verbs and most auxiliary verbs when followed by not. For example, are not becomes aren't, was not wasn't, cannot can't, could not couldn't, do not don't. However, it's best to avoid a few that doesn't sound natural when spoken. For example, ought not. Second, pronouns can be contracted with auxiliaries have and be verbs. However, think before using a less common contraction which doesn't serve well in prose except perhaps in dialogues. For example, I'd have, he'd have, it, there are, who are, should have, would have. Here's a list of common contractions we use every day. There's usually no confusion when we use these contractions. Also, think before using a contraction that can have more than one meaning and when the intended meaning isn't always clear in context. For example, theirs could either be there is or there has. I'd could either be I had or I would. If used thoughtfully, contractions in prose sound natural and relaxed and makes reading enjoyable. For example, colloquialisms like dancing, do's and don'ts, rock and roll, tease, government. Can you use the right contraction for these sentences? Vegetables won't rot easily if their excess moisture is removed and they're wrapped in a lint-free towel while stored in a cool, dry place in the fridge. Chinua Achebe and Haruki Murakami aren't native speakers of English, yet their novels written in the language have been considered masterful. Lastly, possessives. Possessives generally denote ownership. However, it's a misleadingly narrow term as there are 7 functions generally called genitive. For example, summer's day. This denotes not an actual possession. Rather, summers, with an apostrophe s, functions as a descriptive adjective. The general rule of apostrophe s applies to many cases. First, singular nouns. For example, the horse's mouth. Second, singular nouns ending in s. For example, the base's stripes. Third, proper nouns including names ending in s, x, and z. For example, Manila's theaters, Paris's museums, Jesus' adherents, Marx's theories, Berlioz's writings. Fourth, proper nouns in singular form. For example, Reyes's work, Alcoaza's paintings. Fifth, abbreviations and numbers. For example, NASA's legacy, Apollo 11's anniversary, HP Inc.'s latest PC. Sixth, words and names ending in unpronounced S. For example, Descartes' philosophy, Camus' novel, The Marquis's Mother. Seventh and lastly, classical proper names ending in "-ese" sound. For example, Ganges' flow, Euripides' tragedies. Now, the general rule of apostrophe applies to fewer cases. First, plural nouns. For example, Poppy's paws. This excludes irregular plural nouns not ending in S. For example, children's books, mice's nest. Second, proper nouns in plural form. For example, the Reyes' house, the Martinez's daughter, party at the Santoses. Third, nouns plural in form and singular in meaning. For example, economics upholders, politics significance. Fourth, name of a place or an organization, plural in form and singular in meaning. For example, the Philippines International Laws, the Creative Commons rules. Fifth, the traditional forsake expressions, specifically for goodness sake, for righteousness sake. There's also a common alternative practice in which for all words ending in S, the possessive S is omitted. For example, Dylan Thomas' poetry, a business objective. This usage, while also accepted, often disregards pronunciation. Can you use the right genitive for these sentences? Moses' older sister Miriam is a prophetess who led Jewish women and taught them the Torah. Moses is a proper noun ending in S and thus uses apostrophe S. United Nations' purpose, as stated in its charter, is to develop friendly relations among nations and to achieve international cooperation. United Nations is an organization, plural in form but singular in meaning, and thus uses apostrophe. I hope you learned from this video and from now on will be more confident in using the expressions. If you want more practice, you can click the link to a worksheet below this video. Again, please hit like, subscribe, and turn the notification bell on to get updated with our latest videos. Thank you for watching. Bye!